Alrighty, this is my makeshift clapperboard, and there we go. Look, I'm doing that in the interest of making better videos. It's an interesting one, really. I've never gotten in front of the camera and had nothing to say. I did actually once. I did 3 videos. Should have been 1 video, but recorded in 30-minute blocks. 3 videos on console wars, arguably, and why. So, talking about the video game, arguably ethics, because it's the ethics that will hopefully steer who's the champion in a console war, and maybe what's worth buying. Look, I'm going to sit here. This is, as I say, I'm getting in front of the video. I haven't really got anything to talk about. It's a little bit unusual. Probably right out of the centre of the frame. I didn't do my testing there. See, look at the professionalism already. Yeah, look, I could see these beautiful little jacaranda droppings. They're perfect. You get them for a little while. In Canberra in particular, a lot of the avenues just lit up. This purple. The roads just go purple. About a week. It's so beautiful. Look, it's an early time of day. I have done a video. I'm very confident. I'm completely off camera. I've got to back up. I've got audio going on. It is my plan. Look over here. It is my plan this weekend to buy the Coral video suite. I think Humble Bundle at the moment are running a package where I can get a photo editor and a video editor. And I refuse to pay the $1.45 to Microsoft or whatever it costs to buy the HEVC codec. I do argue that I can understand why a company would keep a codec separate to an operating system if there's a cost in that. They don't want to have to pass it on to a consumer, like that ever happens. So, yes, a beautiful location to film. So yeah, look, I'm not willing to do it. And here I'm creating a video purposely that needs editing, right? Purposely, right? I literally spent 20 seconds, not even, before I recorded. The sunrise is just too perfect. I just want to capture it. It's been happening for a while now, but as you can see, it's kind of crossing through the zone here. I kind of like it when, as the video goes on, bit by bit, I get more and more colourful. You know, like sometimes if I've gotten that perfect backlight, the hair from behind gets that really nice lion's mane glow. You know, I feel like then I'm a messenger or someone that might captivate the attention of the people behind the lens, because behind the lens for me, in front of the screen, arguably, you've got to do that, right? Everyone needs something to grab their attention, right? There's nothing about this video in that first minute that's going to lock you in, right? I did a video right before this about radio frequency on public transport, right? One that I'm hopefully going to escalate to various people in the public transport authority, arguably a member of parliament or so, but you know, I never find I can get any success whatsoever with my various videos, so you know, I'll do what I can with it, but maybe I'll put a link at the end of this video to that video, so you can actually see me in a slightly different position, maybe at a slightly earlier time of day. It's a short video, and yeah, it's good. But how do you keep the population interested? How do I, as a public spokesman, do I keep the public interested? I don't really want to. I mean, arguably, if you ask me directly and honestly, do I want to be on camera? Do I want to have people watching me? Do I want to give up my privacy? No, I don't. Do I want to be a statesperson? No. I'm too busy trying to pay the rent. I can't afford to go out there and just try to help the world. I can't. So, you know, at the moment, hey, I'm trying to become a bus driver. Really want to. And that's a horrible thing. Here we go. Let's talk about something. We've got a topic. The way we squish our training down deeply impacts. Okay, so for the entire first week of the new training course I'm doing, I really want to become a bus driver. And I've said that, having basically walked out of my last couple of jobs due to a range of reasons. Generally, the place I'm working for is totally unethical, right? I won't even take a wage. I'll just walk out. Yeah, I work there for a month, you know, chucking fries around and making people's burritos and stuff. Yeah, no wage. I'll do that on ethics. I'll just walk out. Not in a way that ideally leaves my boss in a lurch. I have to look that word up. Sounds good. you know, I don't do it to be punitive to my employer. I kind of do it sometimes to protect myself. Case in point, that was the last place I actually communicated with my direct in line and said, oh look, I feel a bit sick at the moment, that is, I'm about to faint. I've never been that way on a shift any time. I don't believe I'm low iron in my blood. The reasons were pretty clear, that it was an enclosed basement with no airflow. The aircon had been broken now for like a month. During the day we open a door that doesn't necessarily get air down into the basement for a range of reasons, and because I'm the only person on shift that actually sweeps and mops and does anything physically laborious, I was running out of oxygen. Full stop, point blank. Right? I'd bought a fan in from home with an air filter in it, and a fairly expensive one. I'd set it up such that there was a fan out the back, technically, that could be turned on. It's a heat pump, it could actually improve the air quality. I found when I turned that on, and using my fan, every time I was walking through that fresh air, I was letting out a physical little whimper. I was like, oh, like it was unconscious. I was like, wow, like, I'm alive. And yeah, so I gave feedback to my manager, and I was starting to feel a bit woozy for a range of reasons. One is I have to, duty of care. And yeah, it led to me basically not working there anymore. I gave feedback. I mean, I went up the chain of command, and they just coalesced with my manager and took the attitude I was just being difficult, and demanded I get a medical certificate to return to site. And in my email to upper command, head of the company, as far as I could go and as far as I could figure, I said, you know, that I was fine. As soon as I walked outside, spent a couple of minutes getting some fresh air, I was totally fine. And you know, balance of probabilities maybe. It's kind of clear what the issue was. But they took it as an opportunity to say, oh no, you're being difficult. Well, I've never been a no person. Any job I've ever done, I've done some horrendously dangerous things that have just requested horrendously impossible things. You know, wow, lift that thing that no other human being can lift. Oh no, it's okay. Well, you know, you're wearing a suit, but that's okay. A couple of other guys wearing a suit will help you move it down 3 stories with no elevator. You know, that's just part of the course. You know, you just do that. And generally, as the new employer, you're just going to be a yes person. You're too timid. For whatever reason, you got the job. It's generally because you need the money. Generally because you want to pay your rent. Generally because you want to keep living in a house with some stability, because stability equals a higher quality of life. So, yeah, for whatever reason. Anyway, I found myself in this course, now wanting to be a bus driver. Tell a shitty story, everyone feels shitty. So I'll just move on from the jobs I've walked out of. And yeah, filled with hope. I'm like turning up at this course going, yay. But it turns out, yet again, being railroaded. Right, here's a term for you. Yet again, yeah, a couple of years ago, it turns out the person that was helping me, as an unemployed person, I'd gone into this particular centre, and it was built in an industrial area, not near where anyone lives, because we brought the rent rates down for this particular site. And they actually dealt with the most amount of people in my state, as any one particular building went. And yeah, apologies, I don't know. This is a weekend, I don't know if I'm meant to be here. It's kind of early, I don't think anyone else is walking through this zone. So here we go. I just collected the other video here because it's part of the topic, arguably. I'm still here, but it's just a beautiful filming location. Apologies if I look a little bit sketchy as I look around. I don't really feel like I'm doing crime. Under trespass law, I can be asked to leave. They can go spend money taking me to court, and they can sue for the damages I've done to the property. So other than shuffling around a couple of jacaranda flowers that have already fallen from a tree, arguably it's going to get swept up anyway. You know, I'm not really impacting on this concrete block, I feel. I'm certainly not filming with any words or anything that might in any way connect this location to anyone in such a way that it's derogatory. I'm not even talking derogatory about this location. Never haven't at all. So yeah, under trespass law, probably not valuable to sue me. But you know, still, I'm looking around. I just don't feel like I belong here. So that's the planet, really, sometimes. So yeah, look, for whatever reason, oh yeah, going back to this other job, got railroaded, right? This is a completely unethical thing, right? This is totally illegal. But you know, I've mentioned it to the right people. Nothing will ever get done about it. I know that. So a job network member provider, someone that was going to provide me a job, right? In this particular location, there was nobody with a backbone there, right? The only people there were really like looking down, and the agents would just yell abuse at the people that should be helping us. Were treating us in ways that would be very self-esteemed destroying, and to the point where I actually manned up at one point and said, look, mate, you're being a bit, he was disrespectful. He was going over my resume and just ripping out all these things I'd written. I had 3 different resumes for respectively different fields, because I've done a lot of work in my life. And he's like, oh, that's stupid. And he just kept ripping everything out. He's calling me an idiot constantly, saying that my age was working against me and pulling out my age from my resume. So now I haven't even read the last resume that the Job Network member made for me. And yeah, I had the last workplace saying, how old are you? I think it's not in my resume. Apparently not. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm disempowering myself by not having a tight resume document. Apparently, I've only ever lost one job for not having a resume. Arguably, I generally do all right with gift of the gab. Maybe not in front of the camera. Thanks for still watching. Anyway, this last job I got basically turned into a security guard, a security concierge, and it was the person that was getting the job for me was the daughter of the head of the business, arguably, and they were just trying to do it in a way that they were going to use up all the free benefits they could get from the government and hand it over to their family. And it turns out their father, this next politician, claimed that he's the biggest employer in the state of people, where he can get every little merchant cent. And as someone that had been primarily raising my child for quite a few years prior to that, maybe I was considered as a pensioner, or somebody that hadn't really been giving back to society. I felt I had. I'd been on the P&C at the school, and I'd volunteered for a lot of people who do IT work out in that community. Generally, the elderly and the single parents and whatnot refused to do businesses, to stop the businesses wanting to come at me for my low rates, basically free, work in exchange for chickens sometimes. Timber furniture, actually, was the best payment I ever got for anything. A couple of times I got to go up to people's sheds, just pick out a couple of items, still use all that stuff, so yeah, there you go, it was worth it. Barter system, if you will, yeah. But no, I never really made any money. And you can argue that the barter system, if I made a couple $100 worth of timber furniture at some point, in all the hundreds and hundreds of hours of time I gave to the community, yeah, I mean, I was just volunteering to get people up and running in that world. But yeah, so I found myself as a security concierge. Right, this is my makeshift counselling session. It's really great to just talk back at a wall that sometimes echoes back at me. By all means, leave a comment. So yeah, what happened is I had to do a training course, and the training course, like many training courses, have been shrunk down in time because you can get more money through the training course if you can get more people churned through it. And at no point were they really educating us, and it was just like, here's the answers basically, and I'll tick them off. And it was just like, wow, this stuff we've got to learn. This is our job. We are professionals. And the way that the boss worked was, as soon as, after about 3 months, just before 3 months arguably, I think it was about 3 months, he'd magically sack everyone. Now, I'd been his best employee. They acknowledged that every single shift I was on, I would find all the things that nobody else was finding, to the point where they were getting a little bit embarrassed, saying, man, we don't know, you keep finding stuff. Either, obviously no one else is doing their job, but it's neither here nor there. Yeah, always finding a lot of stuff on my shifts that just needed to be redressed. And then magically I kind of lost my job in a way that they put me down on low shifts, to the point where I now wasn't really receiving a supportable income, and all of a sudden I wasn't really earning enough money to look after my family. And that was their way of trying to make me so uncomfortable at work that I would just kind of quit. And eventually they had the daughter come at me through official chains and go, oh, because you're not working enough hours, we're going to get you this unpaid volunteer role for 3 days in an outbound call centre. The only thing I'd had actually written into my agreement with them is like, I'm not looking for outbound sales in a call centre. It's the only work I won't do. But any other work other than outbound sales in a call centre. And they found me an outbound sales role in a call centre, but I didn't even get the job. It was going to be a case of, oh no, you're going to volunteer for 3 days, and then they'll potentially pay you. And they actually booked me to do this at a time when I had my 1 3-hour shift that week at this person's father's business. So I said, well, actually, I've got a paid shift. I don't have to turn up for unpaid work, and it's a call centre. I'm sorry, an outbound call centre. I'm not going to volunteer for 3 days unpaid. It's just not going to happen. So I had a backbone. I didn't like that. I was one of the only people in that place that had a backbone. Everyone else looked at the ground, and everyone else was timid. Anyway, of course, I got exited from government benefits. That's happened non-stop over the last couple of years. And I go months without rent assistance. I haven't had rent assistance for probably a year. Haven't had government benefits for the most part of this year. There's a couple of little moments where I did. And then the mother of my child, a couple of months back, just being a responsible parent, not being able to discipline my child took the option of going and living with the mum because dad was being difficult, and all of a sudden the mum's trying to get back-coded that they're the primary parent or something. Yeah, exactly, the primary parent. Absolutely exited me from the system, technically. And massive back debt, tens of thousands of dollars. Crazy. So, you know, I can argue. I don't have the energy to argue. I'm just trying to pay my rent. My landlord's lost their rating with their bank because of my inability to pay rent. Because the last job I was working for, some unscrupulous bastards, and wouldn't pay me, the Human Resources Department, about 15 points of contact, wouldn't respond to me, wouldn't answer 2 or 3 just clarifying questions that were really important to me to clarify. And of course I was working basically full-time hours, and I didn't have any free time during the week to either run into a hock shop, which I could have easily done if Human Resources would talk with me. It's like, oh, I still won't be able to pay rent. I've been here for a fortnight. I can't even afford a fortnight's rent. You still haven't paid me any money. Wouldn't that be nice? So, yeah, I don't think of businesses, I don't think of companies, they're all over the place. But this security company got contacted by my boss when they were trying to exit me. And they wanted to qualify, well, is he any good? Right? Really weird situation to be in. Anyway, I'm in a training group right now, and it's like I've got this PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. Right? I'm sitting here going, it's all coming back to me, just like this security course, right? I couldn't get any sleep because I was stressed the whole time for a range of reasons. Most of it was living, unethical bosses, pardon me, I've been railroaded. And so this time around, the people are generally all right. Of course, the lecturers, the trainers, they know their stuff. I've been doing it for 24 years or so. Really good teaching now. The problem is I'm never getting a chance to chat with them because day one of the course, somebody didn't turn up. So I get a phone call, and because again, they've set themselves up in a location that's just about impossible to get to. There's only one bus every 2 hours through the middle part of the day. Obviously, I'm trying to get out there now. I received a call fairly mid-morning-ish. So I don't get out there till lunchtime. They said, that's okay, in the morning everyone's just sort of doing introductions. You're not missing out on anything. I think, okay, cool. I had to catch a cab out there to be part of first class I was going to, and that's exactly what I did on that. Once I realised I wasn't going to get there until 12:23, technically, I'm ringing up. Oh yeah, we're on lunch up until 12:30. We start at 12:30. Cool. No, they kept pulling me out of classes to do bits of paperwork that could have been done either outside of hours, because we finish at 3:30 and people are still there until 5 o'clock. And therefore I kept missing the modules, and then because I hadn't done those modules, they'd have to pull me out of other things, right? So for the entire first week, I'm chasing my tail, trying to catch up, right? I keep getting put in a slow class to catch up. Stresses, right? Stresses. So, yeah, it's been, I keep waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning, possibly because, as of yesterday, I found out, yes, where I'm getting hoodwinked again, is that 400 jobs going for public bus drivers at the moment. That's the job I want to do, right? 400 jobs right now. They just need people to do it. And they've got their own induction program, right? But you need a particular licence class to do it. So I'm applying for that licence class, but no, I'm doing the 7-week version of getting that. No, it's the best course in the industry. We found out yesterday that when they created this course, a couple of years ago, 550 people placed, 85% success rate, they say, and they say, yeah, everyone, don't worry, we'll get you through. They do. They've got, the staff force is about 85% teachers' assistants, just trying to help people just fill out their sheets, and they've just rote learnt the answers, and they just rattle them off. Standard affair, as far as I'm seeing, for what is TAFE courses and training courses all over the place now, sadly. Not true. I'm sorry, if you're actually doing a full-length TAFE course because somebody's not unethical and just ripping off the system, right? My apologies. But for anyone that's doing a course, and this one again has been compressed down, and so they're just skipping all the videos that we're meant to be watching. We get to watch some of them, not really, the really short ones. Most of the pages you don't have time to read. Right? I'm reading at least the pages that answer the questions I'm meant to be writing up, and that makes it so that on Friday afternoon everyone's done basically Thursday afternoon. And I'm working in my lunch breaks and stuff and trying to get this stuff done, and not unintelligent. I'm basically incapable of doing this, possibly because I'm not sleeping at night because of stress and I'm going with brain fog. Don't know, range of reasons. Mostly, it's because the teachers' aides just want me to channel through this stuff I would argue, without learning it. They wouldn't say that. I believe they're genuinely trying to help. Right? They can see that everyone might be just wanting to get this stuff done. But each time they interrupt me, and I'll say, oh look, he's doing this page right now, why don't you open up to this page, right? And I'll have one question left, or one part of a question to go, and I've got the answer in the book in front of me, and they'll interrupt me and go, oh, why don't you get out your other thing and start doing this? I don't want to be seen as difficult, right? So I do that. The problem is each time you get interrupted, right, the delay, in order then for me to go and find the relevant page in my manual, because I'm missing tables of content pages and stuff. They're saying that these books need to be redone and this is the last one the books will be used, but they're missing pages left, right and centre, and it's a nightmare to study from. We don't get access to the slides, we don't get access to the modules to take home. They say it's just a skill set. I'm learning additional licenses like forklift, which is really useful. Probably won't help me with my public bus driving though, maybe. How to strap stuff, how to lash stuff, how to handle confined spaces, how to handle all sorts of things. It's great, it's a really great course. I don't deny this. But I said specifically I want to be a bus driver, right? I found out it takes 2 days to get the licence needed to be a bus driver if I go through another course. And there's obviously kickbacks, right? Everyone's shaking hands, right? And as these guys said when they went to the industry a couple of years back saying we're doing a school-based course, which employers want to work with, everyone said that's a waste of time. And it's making money for people, right? And all the trucks have been donated to them by various state government departments. Everything's great. I don't know how kosher everything is. I mean, it is. It's all above board. Right? They've got all the effective wardens and everyone running around, and the typical personalities that you plain English say, oh yeah, we were just told this, and that's why that is. And then because they've got to cover their ass, they say, well, by law, blah, 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 this. And it's like, well, okay, you're saying the legal truth that we all know. We were just trying to let you know that you're operating outside of the law, that those bandages are out of date, that fire extinguisher hasn't got a sign above it, etc., etc. And just the nice toxic personalities that just snap you off and just go, look, basically, we're perfect, don't even tell us that. It's like, well, okay, if you're in a chain of responsibility or a chain of command, and that's how you're going to respond to people actually passing you the useful information that's going to help the business run smoothly, you're training that out of us. And that's essentially it. Anyone of maturity in the course is just like, just put your head down. Don't talk. Don't do that. Don't be the squeaky wheel type thing. No, I don't want to be the squeaky wheel. Because the 55-year-old woman I live with, right, has since 17 years of age been a cleaner. A couple of stints as a kitchen hand. Worked for 10 years as a kitchen hand. Didn't get the long service leave. We're not litigious. We never sue. We don't do any of that sort of stuff. For a year, shy of 2 weeks, 1 year, had worked for this particular cleaning mob, the best cleaner there. Everyone knows it. It's one of the few cleaners that's been escalated to the front of house and reception areas because it's just the perfect cleaning attitude and just work ethic and speed. And if they're not cleaning a room because the people haven't quite left yet, we'll just be wiping down outside of it and just cleaning, right? Doing absolute non-stop cleaning and just really fast paced and just wearing themselves out. Now, because of their advanced age, arguably, as a person who's been cleaning all their life and they have all sorts of, basically don't sleep, they're in pain, right? I said, look, at the time, I think when we first were there, I might have had another job. I said, look, why don't you work part-time? Why don't you just ask for just the minimum number of hours such that we can live, pay our rent, pay our food. We don't need to live well. We just need to be able to make our ends meet. We've got all our entertainment covered. We've got video game systems and stuff. We've got television. We didn't have any pressing needs for costs. At the time, I did have a registered car, but difficulties with that job network member provider who exited me, right? I missed paying my rego by 2 days, and I've got a really nice valuable car in the driveway that I'm never going to be able to afford to put it over the bits again at the rate I'm currently earning at. So, I'm not blaming everyone else for my crappy life, right? I'm actually quite happy with my life, and that's what I said to the missus. But her workplace needed her to work 40 hours a week, so she lost any notion of the fallback safety net being on the government benefits of any sort. This video shouldn't be about other people. My apologies for making it that way. But but because she kept giving feedback, they basically brought in a specialist to bring the costs down, and straight away started just, certain bullies seek out power, and they like their management position sometimes, and just started bullying everyone, and made it just change everything up so that they couldn't keep the chemicals and things you needed with you. You had to keep walking in the length of the building. It's a giant place, one of the largest accommodation zones, and multiple floors you'd have to travel with carrying these weights that were beyond OH&S limits and whatnot. And don't put your hand up. It's like, maybe we shouldn't do that, or maybe we could keep these on our trolley or something. Just on one occasion, this person saw them as difficult, mostly because, for a range of reasons, really good worker. and had given feedback saying we can't hit these cleaning times, and that the business is now saying, oh, if you don't hit that cleaning target for a room, you don't get paid for the time you spend cleaning that room after that. And when she can't hit the cleaning time of a room, right, like basically shy of 30 minutes to do these full-size rooms and whatnot by herself, no assistance. Pretty impossible when you're making beds and whatnot, but you know, and she just gets the bathtubs and scrubs and just works harder, right? She was still able to hit those time frames 98, 95% of the time. Sometimes you just get a room that's just too bad, at which point you're kind of technically allowed to log out, but the infrastructure never works and you haven't got time to walk down and tell anyone and whatever. So generally people just give up the breaks. That's been going on for about 6 months. And then they put this unrealistic requirement of walking heavy chemicals and whatnot a crazy distance in between certain things. It was just too silly for words. Anyway, so she spoke up. Hasn't been given another shift, and because not on Centrelink, not on any government support benefit, there's no safety net, right? So that's okay. I had a crappy job that was being ruthlessly unethical to me and it wouldn't communicate with me, human resource department. And in the end, dodgy, the unfit environment to work in, right? For whatever reason, they said, "Oh no, you're not allowed to turn up to work today unless you've got a medical certificate." And I'm like, "Well, I won't be providing that medical certificate." So that's okay. 2 days later, I get the call up for this job. Fantastic. For this training course. So sadly though, I'm highly stressed. Like fortunately they did pay me my last week's wage yesterday, so I could actually pay rent plus. You know, first time ever I had my landlord. I've been renting this house for years. First time ever I had my landlord come out and visit me. And as far as I can figure, we're paying below market rent by a fairly large amount. It's a nice suburb I live in. And yeah, we're in a world at the moment where landlords are typically exiting the tenants so that they can jack the rent up by a higher amount than the governments will let them. The government came in and mandated a bunch of things to try and protect tenants, because most landlords are going, oh, if we turn it into an Airbnb, we'll make a lot more money in a small amount of time. And that's, when it goes uphill, so everyone needs money. It's the solution of many of life's, veritable solution to many of life's problems. Everyone wants money. So my landlord rocks up. And I've already sent messages like, yeah, man, I know I've let you down yet again. Essentially when at the week one I couldn't pay rent. Yeah, I never kind of expected my first week of a job to be able to pay rent, but because the housemaid had lost the ability to earn money that particular week, we kind of got caught out. And I telegraphed that to the landlord and said, it's okay, it'll definitely be next week. Hence the 15 points of contact with human resources, who had given me all these avenues to get access to my money, and then just kept blocking me at every possible level to try to get access to that money. It's like, oh my lord, when I couldn't pay rent on that second week, and to say that the landlord's like, well, I'm going to come and see you on the weekend. And then I said, look, man, in another week I'll have this sorted. He's like, okay, well, we'll talk next weekend, right? So yeah, my landlord's turned up. This is when I'm finding out about how he's slipped with his bank. I would argue he's been perfectly nice to me. He's let me live. He's one of the few ethical landlords out there, and I just, bless this man, bless his family, thank you. Not everyone's that lucky, and for whatever reason I get stressed. I get stressed when I'm doing a course where I can see I'm disengaged for the next however many weeks. My missus isn't currently able to earn money, right? So what are we doing as a household? We can't go forward, we're not getting any rent assistances. Probably we should put our hands up and get a bunch of government supports, I suppose. But that's not the way she was raised. I'd like to say it's not the way I was raised. My family, my uncle in particular, when the recent world events happened and he had to shut the business down on a couple of occasions where a workforce of 20 or more people would not be able to work, he just paid everyone their wages ongoing out of the family trust, out of the business's pool of money, on the basis that it would allow everyone to go forward. Now, I don't get access to that money, arguably. Once a year or so. My nan on her deathbed insisted I get in contact with this man once a year. He didn't believe that. He knew exactly what that would mean. And he waited 10 years. He didn't honour the house he was meant to buy for me. That was the one thing he knew that my nan knew that my mum would never give me a dime. Get on with my mum. So I've never really seen any of this lineage. I guess some part of my mind always thought it would kind of happen. At some point in my life I could finally become an author. Even if for my own merits I couldn't make my own life happen, right? I've been burgled annually most of my life. All the money I've earned, I think God wants me to be a monk, right? I've lived in, for a while there, I'd lived in more houses than I had years in my life. Right? And being able to say that in my 40s, I moved around a lot. And on my nan's deathbed, well, not on her deathbed, but in the last 6 months of her life, I got to sit down one time and have a chat with her and talk about all these houses. And she finally understood, wow, you've had this crazy life. It's like, yeah, I've had this crazy life. And literally, like, I've had housemates burn houses down. I've had weird stuff happen, right, every step of the way. And it's not that I don't take responsibility. I'm the opposite. I take responsibility as much as I can, because it's how you learn in a situation. And it's like, man, I look like a person who cares about ego. I come to these videos, I jump out of bed, I don't look in a mirror generally. Today I did actually. I think I put my hair back. I might have brushed my teeth. Yeah, I had a bowl of cereal before I came down, so I talked longingly on the camera. Apologies and thank you. I know this video won't be watched, so it's just a rant and rave video. It's an unscripted one. No intention, no direction. Just talking about the stresses, I guess, that are going on for me personally. But I understand a lot of this is parallel for a lot of people. So many people have promises that aren't being honoured to them. So many people can't go forward in their own lives because, irrelevant of their best laid plans, they get uprooted, you know. So we've all got to just be dynamic. Now, we're capable of responding dynamically when we're not stressed. The more stressed we are, the less rested we are, the less out of fatigue we make poor judgment calls, right? Like being in front of this video without editing. Just putting it up on the net. Yeah. Look, as I say, I'm going to buy some video editing footage this weekend if I can squeeze it. I mean, to be fair, my child graduates this weekend. I can't watch the graduation. It's $50 a ticket. And let's just say my income for my last week of work didn't pay a fortnight's rent, right? I've been surviving off using Afterpay, or essentially credit, to buy vouchers for supermarkets, just so I can live, right? And okay, I don't go into charity organisations. I'm sure there's lots of options, and everyone will say, oh, you can go to this community, blah, 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 right? I like being independent. I left home at 14. I've been independent just about all my life. Not being able to stand on my own 2 feet, right? That to me means I've failed. I was lying in bed the other night thinking, I'm just going to have to call bankruptcy. The school came at me. She said, oh yeah, you owe us a couple of $1,000. I'm like, man, my kid won't even. Yeah, great. I said, why don't you contact the other parent? And they're like, no, it's for you to organise. It's like, right, the woman that just litigious up against all the various men in her life that she's had kids to, and just takes them through court and makes up lies and just unethically tries to strip them down and throw them in prison. It's like, yeah, good. Yeah, that's healthy. Yeah, no, that won't be happening. I said, I'll give you the details for them. Because she would have used that as an opportunity to say, the father's useless, telling all of her friends. She loves to focus on the 1 or 2 negative things you've done in the course of your entire life, and just use that as justifications to people for why she's not with you. There's a few people out there who probably experienced this in a relationship. But, for whatever reason, I just try to do the right thing by everyone. I come across as angry or violent on these video feeds. It's just me trying to nurture a persona that might be mildly interesting. I mean, a lot of these things that are passionate to my heart, yeah, I am passionate about them. Should I be a statesman for the gaming industry? Yeah, I probably should. Should I be a statesman for technology as a whole? Yeah, but there's no real regulating body that's going to help. So what do you do? Governments don't have power now over corporations. So what do you do? There's no real level any one person can be effective. I mean, I'd love it. I've had a spiel lots of times. I'll do it now. It's practice run. No one's watching this. It's like, give me a cent. No, make it $1, right? Give me $1, right? If everyone gave me $1, right? The way I could represent the causes or the needs of the people, right? So if something was happening, for example, Bluetooth codec gets dropped on a particular Samsung phone, it's anti-competitive, they pull it from the Google operating system. Everyone out there that bought a particular phone that supported a particular codec, somebody just needs to argue that with them. But en masse, nobody can really do that, because individually we don't have any power. But if somebody's got the money to occasionally put down those lawsuits that actually make the stuff happen. Now, I'll give an example there, that's purely entertainment, right? So that might be relevant to you, but a lot of people just want clean drinking water, food that they can actually eat, right? So, yeah, I do believe in effective use of money. to make the greatest change. And sometimes it's just saving a business. It's just about to go out the back door, and then the company that's fighting them will buy them up so it doesn't have to pay out the legal costs. It technically loses in court, but it doesn't matter because the business shut down fighting the court case. It happens all the time. We lost the best sound card technology in late 90s, Oriel A3D, fighting Creative Labs over sound card technology. And Creative were in the wrong. It finally got deemed that way. But then Oriel were gone. They couldn't afford the legal costs. So even though they won the lawsuit, Creative then didn't have to pay the lawsuit because they just bought up Oriel. Yeah, we're living in a world where that happens all the time. The companies just buy up companies just to save the lawsuit. So, yeah, I'm not saying I'd ever be that rich, but if everyone gave me $1, the amount I could be empowered to represent the people, to cover the things that are needed, to raise awareness to people, I'd be a personality. I'd be a person who actually supports everyone. That's the crazy thing, is I wouldn't do anything with the money for myself. I don't need it. Like, I'm really happy living meekly. I'm really happy. I eat organic wheat bix, right? I don't eat the regular wheat bix. I pay a little bit more for my wheat bix. Okay, that's my luxury. But I'm eating wheat bix, All the rest of the cereals I buy, they're on markdown. I just buy them 30 or 40% off. I always look at the muesli. That's what the bulk of my foods is actually the stuff you need to eat. And for whatever reason, maybe it's my blood type, I just get on really well with grains. I certainly can't really afford meats. So, oh dear, I don't know. I live really simply. I've bought lots of nice stuff. As I say, I've been burgled just about annually. Period there in my life. Actually, 3 years in a row I got burgled on the exact same day. Year 4, after those 3, I felt like just on that particular weekend of the anniversary of the 18th. And, today. Themes. I'm probably going to get home. But, I've lost all my possessions on many occasions. Lost hundreds of autographed CDs, and then regularly, and lost all my stereo equipment, lost all my nice televisions and all my nice gaming systems. And, just constantly, just reset button, and constantly moving. I've experienced a lot, but now I've got all the entertainment I need. I'm sort of at the point of actually selling it all off, just so I can buy the licensing for video footage editors. Right, none of my computers have the HEVC codec, so I can play back into these footages I record. I actually have to upload them to YouTube before I can see them for the first time. That's why the quality's usually where it is. This weekend it was my plan to, there's a humblebundle.com, but Humble have a photo and video editing package going on, and I can get a Corel video suite. I'm just hoping it's got the particular codec needed. I guarantee you it won't, but I'm just hoping it's got the codec I need to edit these videos. And look, there's people probably out there going, oh dude, you can get the codec pack and you can get this and you can get that. I kind of play with them. And I love the way the Microsoft operating system will always guide you to the dodgy version that will actually get the computer absolutely destroyed. If you don't give them their money, right, they will absolutely have you destroy your computer with the first link in their search engine every time, by taking you to a dodgy version of Google Chrome or codec pack or whatever. Right? They do it on purpose. They'll say they don't. They'll try to have systems in place to protect themselves. There's a lot of unethical businesses out there, and they know how to protect themselves. They're always 7 steps ahead of anyone. Hence why that notion of $1 thing. But as I didn't do it, there's a spiel in my head. It's a really good one. Do it really tight. And just really passionately drive people up, going, yeah, look, it's only $1 to you. It's not really worth anything. But you pour it in one little pool and compare it to someone that actually gives a shit, who actually for humanity, for you. Then it's effective. And what have you got to lose? You've got everything to gain. Certainly more than the value of what you give up. But why do I do these videos? Yeah, because I want to be a statesman. Because I want to be in front of a camera. Because I want to talk. No, I'm being ingenuine. That's not me. That's why I laugh. It's a form of humour that I don't think is very... sarcasm is the lowest form of humour. I like non-derogatory humour, ideally. That's what I try to do, rather put myself down than put someone else down. You can never really tell the mental state of anyone around you. And anyway, look, this has been a longish video. I'm in a beautiful location. I've got all these birds flying by. I've got the sound of the singing and the birds. I can only hope that I'm still recording. I haven't flipped around the screen. I did have some nicer lenses. They're currently in a hot shop. I was able to pay my rent last week. I don't know. why am I here? Well, I don't know. If I go off the life I've been given, it's just so I can be empathetic and understanding to a range of people. Possibly only Western people, you know. Yes, I've mostly only experienced my country, but I've done the due diligence of travelling around my country. I've been to every state and territory. I haven't done a lot of Western Australia, which is where I currently live. The whole time I've been in WA, it's primarily to be a parent, so therefore I've just been focused on, I haven't built up friends, I haven't really built up the connections. I've literally just been head down, thumbs up, I don't know, whatever that term is. I've just been focused and just doing what I have to do as a parent, and that kind of changed a few months back, and so I've got really back into heavily trying to work and make it so that people around me that shouldn't have to work so hard can work less hard. And and I really, we just want to get a bus, go and break some ground, and trying to save the planet, to raise awareness towards a concept that I think would save the economy of every economy. Actually, would prop up all the governments, would do everything right by everyone. But there are other videos, no one will watch them. If I talk about it, it's overwhelming, it's too much for anyone to have to think about. So keeping this one light and fluffy. Just give me $1. Just do it for no reason other than just do it. You know? You probably can't send it to me because I haven't kept my tax file number because I stopped servicing Windows PCs because Windows as a product is unethical. So after quite a few years, I think they shut down my ABN, which meant I lost my commercial web zone, which is where I had all my emails routed to. So the Patreon I set up years ago, I stopped checking. I basically stopped making videos when I couldn't make any traction with any politicians or anything, and just constantly had tech fails. And I just went, look, this is just the universe's way, if you will, of saying that maybe now is not the time to be doing this. So respecting that, I'm not going to fight a greater power than I am. I'm going to be humble enough to learn and to do appropriately. So that was the video today. I was standing behind the camera going, what's the topic going to be? And my intuition was just, no, look, just be fragile, be in front of the camera, do one of these videos. So yeah, I do say thank you. Look, as makeshift therapy, there's a lot of themes and threads there that I haven't wound up. My apologies, I have had a bunch of unethical employers. It's really stripped me down. I'm not really sleeping that well. I do know that I do better when I've had more than a couple of hours sleep. But after I've had a week with only a couple of hours sleep, it's been weeks of only a couple of hours sleep each night. I feel like I'm running on empty. I've made the error, arguably, of throwing out the coffee. I mean, I still make them for the missus early enough in the morning. Probably missed that chance today. I refer to the missus as my missus. We're a tribe. We're just people that just realise that the world is stronger together. And they had 88 acres of property out in the rural, and their family have arguably taken it off them. So, they've committed to a life path for me. They raised my child. She's really wonderful. Having 2 heads in the family. That is, I could go out and be a security concierge on my child's, I think, 15th birthday. I'd organised a sleepover with like 10 of their friends. It was my first midnight shift as a security guard, and I found this out after the party had been organised. And we'd also moving house that day. We'd moved out of the apartment building. It was just laden. We'd had a cat that had gone off for 3 months. It had escaped out of my partner's house she'd built. She built this house. She believes cats should be in a internal. She did a lot of animal rescue, so there's a lot of kangaroos out there, a lot of possums and stuff. So she built like a cat atrium. All of her cats had always lived indoors. They'd never escaped the house inside of 20 years. My cat gets out there inside of 48 hours, like, no, I'm out of here. And for 3 months was missing. It was one of those find your way home things, 17 kilometres, turned up at this house that I just had to keep renting, even though we were living in Perth City. And after months, it was the final night I was there, 2 o'clock in the morning, there's this little mew at the back. This cat radar had somehow found its way back to this township out in the country. It had literally gone 18 kilometres as the crow flies. It had crossed rivers. It had done who knows what to get home. It found me. It found me on the one time it had to find me. It was great. And yeah, so I got that cat back. But we'd signed on to a lease in an apartment the day before my child's school started, so that we could get into the particular catchment, to get into that particular school, which was going to suit the needs of my child. And yeah, it all just happened really quickly, but there was no pets allowed, and we had the person who ran the body corporate living above us. My husband was he was like high up in the police, had been at some point in their life. I didn't want a cat meowing there. It had been really stressful for a while. So when we had the chance to move down the road, we took it. And it was right before my child's birthday. And yeah, on the day of moving, the first day of living in this new place, we'd kind of got the fridge set up. We had the basic ability to cook. I don't know if we had the basic ability to store foods in a cold store yet, just about. And I'm taking off at midnight for a night when 15-year-olds got 10 of their friends sleeping over. Felt like a prick. But yeah, it's really great where we can all support each other, and we are better. When we stand together, we're certainly better off. So, I mean, that's all I want to do. And I do believe the quality of my videos goes up when I'm well rested. I do think right vocation, anyone that's aware of the Triple Gem, right vocation is kind of important. And do I think that being a bus driver is the right vocation for me? Yeah, I do. It's going to earn me good money, but it's something I believe I can do. I can be front house facing. I was at 16 in Sydney, catch 2 buses and 2 trains to get to school, from basically primary school through start high school. And so that was in Sydney. I'd be on public transport for a couple of hours in the morning, a couple of hours in the afternoon to get to and from. Various schools. Regent's Park Christian Community High School is a Baptist high school in Sydney. It's the only one. We have people travelling from the Blue Mountains, which, if you know anything about Sydney, is not really an outer suburb of Sydney. Probably nowadays it is. Suburban sprawl and all. North Sydney boys, and these were very much opposite ends of Sydney. So I've kind of spent a long time going one way, I've spent a lot of time going another way. I'm really comfortable on public transport, and just to be that person who's receiving people, I think it's the right job for me to do. That being said, I applied pretty heavily at camera industry type jobs as I walked into the other job a week ago, and kind of feel like I got over the line there. I have had a call back for a call centre job, and yes, I'm very good in call centres, but it can be soul destroying stuff. I'm not saying that if you're doing a call centre to by any means look at your job in a negative way. It's a means to an end, and I would happily take that call centre job if I truly thought it was available. I've asked them 2 or 3 times, what's the job? In fact, they won't tell me. Usually a pretty good indicator. The fact that the job's always available, usually a pretty good indicator. So yeah, I mean, I was pretty focused on getting a camera job, but everyone is. And the fact that they asked me for my resume makes me think, oh yeah, I've got an in there. I did receive an email in the wee hours of the morning. That is from those guys. So look, do I really feel like doing a 6-7 week course when I could be doing a 2-day course to actually be the bus driver? And I know that bus driver work's available. Yeah, that's frustrating. Am I burnt out right now? Yeah, I am. Is it the appropriate time to do these videos? Probably not, but if you're really tired, at least I'm really honest. That's the theory anyway. So with that, I mean, I want to say lots of love. Some people, that word might cause them a flinching moment of pain. Some people say, oh yeah, that's wonderful, I can be soft. No, I don't believe in toxic masculinity. I feel if I say namaste, for anyone who's used to hearing the word namaste, it's like you don't know how to pronounce it. It's not genuine. Your energy field isn't strong enough to really be saying it in a way that you're recognising the high spiritual energy in me, and when we're looking at you and you feel like a destroyed, crushed down being, we don't want to, to make us engage with your lower level of energy. I'm not demanding that you heal me. I don't expect reciprocation if the energy's not putting out there. But any of these words can cause a disconnect. I must admit, I don't have an exit strategy at the ends of these videos. I like to say well wishes with. I do believe well wishes with. And then other people are like, wishes, what's that? Is that wishcraft? Everyone out there might have their own goal and agenda, and there's extremists in everything, in religion too. Some extremists are very malleable with their religion. They realise that most other religions out there, all their dogmatic teachings are parallel and just about identical, using different words for a lot of the different things. For example, 7 out of the 8 world's major religions have a Trinity. Yeah. And Buddhism, the one that doesn't, has the inner, the outer, and the other, which is kind of the same as what most people, certainly that are raised Christian, as I have been, consider sort of the Holy Trinity. Everyone's got a Holy Trinity, it turns out. But there's zealots in so many religions that are like, oh no, it's our way or the highway. And so, look, it is true, if you're a Christian, you will believe that the only path to God is through, arguably a prophet, Jesus. A lot of other religions have also had a prophet. Oh no, but they weren't sons of God. Okay, well it's funny because You know, St. Francis well, a lot of people say that Jesus was in different embodiments, and then other people can sort of scientifically show that Jesus is a myth and that it was all Egyptian parables and he would have been Egyptian, and or the three kings were three stars in the night sky and blah, 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 and this is all just shaped, engineered reality to sculpt society. Sure, okay. You can cut down these things any which way you want, but factually, do I have an opinion on this? No, because it's just not a topic you talk about, right? It's just a disconnect. It's just a shame that because of the zealots out there who can't handle possibly saying well wishes with or Namaste, because that might mean I'm not Christian. I don't know how that would be the case. It just means I'm possibly more versed in worldly stuff. You know, by all means, you should read around. Very empowering. For your own religion, right? Believe it or not, knowing what you're up against, right? Even if you're a zealot, right? It's probably beneficial to know what you're up against. So, Religions of Man by Houston Smith is probably the most vital textbook that anyone could read with regards to understanding religion from a theoretical practice. Anyone who wants to actually practice spirituality. The Tower of Alchemy by David Goddard. Probably very, very good texts. Get one started on a journey. Personally, you know, you've got your self-help books, which probably skirt around the notion of religion, which would be things like The Road Less Travelled. Pretty good one, that breaks down how to be a human. Everyone wants a handbook for living. There's one right there. But I mean, for me, Poe is a Zen book, like little books that you can just live off. You just flip to a page, you just have an aha moment. I think as humans, we all just need an aha moment. We all need to have faith in something. It's a bit stronger than we as humans, because we're all fallible. And intrinsic strength comes usually from a deep connection to the divine, I'd like to think, is pretty important. So, look, I would never want to strip anyone of their faith, ever. Really important that. Faith heals. Even placebos heal, right? Scientists out there, atheists, yeah, faith heals, right? Placebos, okay, scientific basis for that. So, yeah, your religion, if you're atheist, that's your religion. Yeah, you believe that. Agnostics, they're the only ones that are. But, yeah, semantics. It's not really the exit point of a video. Well, it is the exit point of a video for a person who doesn't have an exit word. So, look, it's been a long video. How about I give you a moment just looking at this wonderful scene around me. I might go shake the jacaranda tree and we'll see if we can give someone a reason to exit me from here on trespass law and might sue me for jacaranda leaves that fall down. And well wishes with. Quite get the jump up. If I climb a tree, I risk hurting myself. That's wrong.